running this Fast for Swat campaign, which I've been doing for about 8 weeks now, to raise the awareness for the displaced people of Swat.
Anjum, I wish you all the best in this campaign, and it's a very worthy campaign, because I was probably the first politician to be in Bonaire when the when the refugees were coming out of Swat. And people have no idea what the suffering of people, of these refugees, because it was the hottest time of the year. They're living in these tents which are like ovens, temperatures over 50 degrees inside the tents. And most of the people, 80% of people living with families, which clearly could not take the burden. And this is a huge human catastrophe, not highlighted much. And I would like everyone to support it. Your Fast for Swat. Fast for Swat?
Yes, www.fastforswat.org.
Fast for Swat, I would support wholeheartedly. I wish you all the success. I hope that everyone joins in, campaigns for you, raises money for you, because it is probably the most worthy cause at the moment. And I don't think people have any idea how many refugees are there. There's almost 3 million people displaced.
There are, and I'd say that from my humble opinion, when I was there, the reason that there's not that many in the camps is because of the hospitality of the Northwest Frontier province.
It's not just they're not in the camps because of the hospitality, it's also because they feel very humiliated to live in camps. And therefore they prefer living in these crowded houses and people, the hosts in Mardan and in the adjoining districts have just opened their doors to these refugees. And especially because they don't want their women and children to be in camps, they have put them in with families. But the burden they are bearing is clearly, it's not possible for them to sustain it much longer.
No, which is what I found, that there was one particular school which was hosting 75 families, and schools in Pakistan, as you will know, the sanitation provisions are not fantastic. They had one pump, and the women that I found were just, they can't come out, and they've got sheets between each door. And when I asked them what they'd eaten, well, they had wheat, as you know, that they have no money then to go ground this, and they have to go sell the wheat bags. And I found in the camps, the children, the highlight for them was us visiting on a camera that I was holding. I was like the Pied Piper, but you've seen all this, haven't you?
No, it is, as I said before, people don't understand the extent of this tragedy, and there is, at the moment, despite what the government says, this is going to take quite a long time. And so therefore, any help is welcome.
Tell me about these people, how they lived before.
Swat was one of the most prosperous parts of Pakistan before. About 15-20 years ago, it had the best governance system, it had the highest literacy rate, the best orchards. Women had the highest literacy rate. The girls were the most educated in the rest of the frontier province. And it was one of the most tolerant societies. In the 70s, the hippie trail used to be through Swat. There was never any tension in that society. And that Swat is now a living hell. People have lost everything. The refugees have lost their animals who they live off, their crops, their fruit trees. Houses have been destroyed. So they will need a lot of help.
So they're innocent victims caught up in the middle of...
They are victims of a military operation. The nature of that military operation was not required. You don't go flushing out 5,000 militants and displace 3 million people. This is just not sensible. The timing of the operation was wrong, the extent of the operation was wrong, and the people of Swat are the sufferers. I'm not even
So
sure.
this is what you're saying. You haven't been saying, because there's been reports of you being a Taliban sympathiser. So what you're saying is for 3 million people to be displaced, this sledgehammer approach wasn't right.
Absolutely not. This is most inhuman what they have done.
Yes.
Whenever there is an inquiry, they will find out that this was the worst way of hunting down 5,000 people. There should have been a counterinsurgency operation, which is a completely different way of approaching it. Rather than bombing through artillery, through F-16s, through helicopter gunships, mortars,
Yes.
where there are women and children and civilians living.
So what can we do here in Britain for
We-
these people?
The only thing all of us can do is to look after the people, and they have suffered.
Yes.
They are the ones who have paid a very heavy price for this operation, which was really the government is responsible for this. But it's not the fault of the people, and so whatever we can do, we should try and help
Yes.
them.
So this campaign is more for awareness. I'd like people to log on to this website, if you can kindly call that.
Yes, fastforswat.org. This is a very worthy cause, and Anjum, I congratulate you for it.
Thank you.